All right. So what's the deal with supplements? That's going to kind of be the topic of today's video because I know this is a confusing topic, and it's becoming increasingly harder to differentiate between shit that we fucking need and shit that someone's just trying to make a quick buck off of. So first and foremost, you don't need shit. I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a single supplement out there, at least over the counter. I'm going to not put in exogenous hormones in there. That's going to make some giant difference in terms of moving the needle. That's going to be the, again, differentiator between you looking like you and sebum or something like that. It just doesn't fucking exist. Now, does that mean or doesn't mean that there's some that could help a little bit? Sure. Yes, no, maybe so. So I'll kind of break down, and I'm going to make or link my blog post below about the current supplements I take. And now, full transparency, some of these are referral links or whatever. You don't have to use these. I don't care. I don't even know what I make on these ones. And I don't want it to come across like I am selling supplements to you. This is just currently what I take, but I'll kind of dive into that a little bit deeper. So I'm going to go first off of kind of tier one overall winners. And there's not very much in this category. So first and foremost, it's just whey protein or a protein supplement. And is this needed? No. If you are hitting your requirements for protein, and I'm not going to go over that in today's video, I can do that in a separate one. But if you're hitting your daily requirements, whatever your goal is for protein, macronutrient, you don't need it. You don't need it. But for me, like 2 scoops a day does help me hit my targeted goal, which is around, for me, around 155, 160 grams of protein a day. It is tricky because I don't eat a ton of whole meals a day. But if you're someone that does and you hit your goal, you don't fucking need it. So save the money and don't take it. There's nothing special about supplemental protein. I think a lot of people getting into this, they see, the marketing for them and they think that it's something different. There's some special anabolic properties of a whey protein or a protein that comes in a tub when compared to chicken. It's just fucking protein. So if you hit your goal, you don't need it, okay? And then kind of number 2 is creatine monohydrates. And yes, just plain old monohydrate, the cheap stuff. Now, more and more literature is coming out with creatine, and not just from a performance standpoint, but there's also a cognitive standpoint that it seems like there's some benefits there. Now, again, do I think this is going to be a giant needle mover? No, okay? But for me personally, it seems like the research is good enough, for one. And 2, I can fit it in my, daily, monthly, yearly budget, and it doesn't break the bank for me. Now, if you're some kid and you have to choose between adequate food or creatine, eat the fucking food. Because having less calories is going to be more detrimental to your gains than not having creatine monohydrate. But if you're someone that can fit it into your budget, I think it's great. I think the more and more evidence that we're seeing, the more reasons why almost everyone should be taking this. So I've been taking it on and off for probably like 15, 16 years. But again, I am not ginormous. This is not a giant differentiator between 30 pounds of lean muscle mass. It might be a very, very, very small amount. And anyone that sells it like, oh, I look like this, now I'll look like this, has helped me gain, a considerable amount of muscle mass strength. I'm sorry, they're just trying to sell shit for you. It's not going to make that big of a difference, okay? And let me just quickly kind of go over, a lot of people will talk about studies, and even if there's a statistical significance in studies, that doesn't mean it's a giant difference. That could be, in versus a control versus a creatine group over the span of fucking 12, 16 weeks. The 16 weeks got one more rep, okay? Again, not ginormous. But if you extrapolate that over months, years, decades, it could add some. But also, if you stay consistent in the gym for a fucking decade, that's going to do a majority of the work anyway. Again, it's not a big difference either way, but if you can fit it in, I think it's worth checking out. I think it's worth trying. I think it's worth fucking around and trying, okay? Or fuck around and find out. And some things with supplements is like that. So then I'm going to go to kind of tier 2. In this one, I put pre-workout in here, but again, this is not something you need. Personally, I like caffeine. I'm a little bit of a stimulant junkie. So, and I like pre-workouts for kind of 2 reasons. One, caffeine's like the one supplement that works because you can feel it. Most other supplements you don't feel immediately like that. So I do like caffeine, but I still think the benefits of pre-workout, like 99% of it, come from caffeine. I know people, oh, what about L-citrulline? Oh, what about beta-alanine? Cool. There's some research on these ones. Again, is it a big needle mover? No, it's fucking not, okay? Another big reason why I like pre-workouts, I'm going to be honest, it's the psychology behind this. I know when I get my shaker cup out or stir that thing and drink it and taste that pre-workout taste, it starts putting me in this headspace of like, I'm getting ready to go to the gym. I'm getting ready to perform. So some of it is placebo, and I'm okay with that. Whatever ritual you do that helps you get ready to perform, and especially if you feel like it's a slight performance enhancer, I'm all for. And I know pre-workout is a big part of that for me personally. And again, it's something that I can stomach financially. But do I think if there is some, crazy pre-workout that costs $100 per month, $200, is that worth it? Fuck no. I'm going to be honest with you. And again, I'll link the one that I currently use. But dude, I have tried every fucking pre-workout. That's an exaggeration, but I've tried so many. I think the biggest thing, if you really want to dive deep into the weeds with pre-workouts, is making sure some of the ingredients, you're at least hitting the minimum effective dose. And that's a big thing that you'll see that people will skimp on. So for example, I don't know if this is still the case, but last time I researched it, like L-citrulline, citrulline malate, the minimum effective dose was around 6 grams. So you need 6 grams to, again, get any effectiveness from it. So what pre-workouts will do, because that's a relatively expensive ingredient, they'll put it on the thing, oh, L-citrulline, but it'll be 2.5 grams. So it's like, cool, that did absolutely fucking nothing because you didn't even hit the minimum effective dose. So that's what I would say if you want to, again, delve deep into ingredients. Look at minimum effective dosages for these ingredients. And then also, I probably would say stay away from proprietary blends. There's a reason why people don't want to put the exact amount of dosage for these ingredients. And it's generally because, again, they skimp on the ingredients, the cost or whatever, because it's just bigger margins. They can make more money. All right. So again, tier 2, I'm going to go pre-workout, not needed. A lot of people just do coffee, caffeine, whatever, and that will probably give you 99% of the benefits. But again, if you like it and it adds to your ritual and you feel like that helps your workout, I'm all for it. Just as long as it doesn't fuck with your sleep, because again, take pre-workout 6 p.m. and then you sleep 4 hours because of it, I think that's going to be more detrimental, even if your workout is 10% better, because the sleep is more important. Okay, and then the other one, again, short list. Right now, I personally am taking an omega-3. I'll link the one I take, but there's no specific reason for it. It just seemed like it had decent reviews. But I recently listened to a podcast on this too, and it was like there's a lot of skepticism on how much this really does. And just like many other supplements, the best way to know what you absolutely need and what you're going to benefit from is trying to get some blood work done. See what you're deficient in, okay? Because otherwise, you're just going to have some, expensive pee on the good end, and on the bad end, you can overdo it with some of this stuff. I think we think that just because it's over the counter that there's no negative side effects, and in reality there can be. And most people just throw shit at the wall, and including myself. I've done a lot of that too. I don't get routine blood work done, so I'm a little bit of a hypocrite when I talk about this stuff, but that's going to be the best thing. But for now, it seems like there wasn't too much negative towards. But again, get your blood work done. Speak to your doctor. This is not medical advice whatsoever. But personally, I have kept omega-3 fish oils in my supplement routine for the last couple of years. But I might even phase that out and see if I notice a difference, just kind of subjectively. But the best way is to, get your blood work done. Take it again, your blood work, or vice versa. Get your blood work done, eliminate it, do your blood work again. And then another one I've been messing around with is NAC or NAC. And this one, I'll be honest, I just kind of jumped in because I heard it recommended on a podcast and did the typical Google. You find these articles and you're like, oh, wow, this is great. Will I keep this in? I don't know. And this is the hardest part about supplements. How much is it really doing? I don't fucking know, dude. There is so many confounding variables. when you're talking about whatever the supplement says it's going to do, whether it's, oh, it's going to give you more energy, strength, muscle, feel better. It's like, dude, you could feel better because you slept 20 more minutes, because you're less stressed that night, because you didn't get in a fight with your significant other, because your training volume went down. There's so many things. It is so hard to point at one individual supplement ingredients for your well-being, your health, or whatever. And then the other thing that I have fallen victim to, and I've seen a lot of people fall victim to, is you introduce a supplement. So let's just say I introduced a supplement and then did a new training block and things are going well and progressing well. Then you almost become superstitious to take it out because you're like, oh no, the progress is the NAC. When in reality, it's probably just my fucking training. My training and my diet habits, my recovery, those are the big, big rocks. So be careful not to fall victim of that, because it's an easy way to have the biggest list of supplements and spending hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars a month on supplements that probably aren't doing anything, when in reality it's just your nutrition and your training. But again, I'm kind of messing around with this. Like I said, part of this is experimental and fuck around and find out. Not the best route. The best route is to try, get some blood work, get some objective markers. But we'll kind of see. I mean, from what I've researched, the negatives of it didn't seem horrible unless you're taking high doses. But that right there is my main supplements that I'm taking. I'm currently doing a sleep stack too. And some of these are recommended from, good old Dr. Huberman, Andrew Huberman. And some of these are, again, kind of a fuck around, find out. I want to see how it affects my sleep. I do track my sleep, but these are not super duper accurate. I'm going off of more subjectiveness of how do I feel. One, how do I feel? Like, how long is it taking me to fall asleep? How do I feel my sleep is throughout the night? Am I waking up? And then how do I feel in the morning throughout the night? So that one it's a combo of L-theanine, magnesium glycinate, glycine, messing around a little bit of lemon balm leaf, a fast release melatonin small dose. And then I just added on this list to the nasal strips. I just like that, just opens up my nose. But that's pretty much it. And the sleep stack, another big part, just full transparency. I've been a nighttime blazer for quite a long time, and I'm trying to really slow that down and not lean on that so much. So part of this is just like the pre-workout, it's a ritual, okay? It's more of this, it's the psychology of it. I'm trying to almost placebo myself into relaxing, for lack of better terms, meaning I'm drinking this should promote relaxation, this should promote me falling asleep easier. How much is it from the supplementation versus just me telling myself that? I don't really know. But sometimes this can create the good habits. So again, my goal is probably not to take this for forever, but just to take this on the short term and then maybe start eliminating these things. And then I can kind of see, you can kind of judge. So for example, if I, do this for a month and then let me eliminate glycine and see, I don't really notice that much. Do I want to keep it in? Do I want to save that $20 a month? And vice versa. You might take something out and be like, oh, I actually did notice a difference. And then if you want to introduce it back again, that is totally, totally fine. So just to kind of wrap it up, overall winners tier 1 is protein. You don't need it if you hit your daily protein goal without a protein supplementation. Creatine monohydrate. Tier 2 for me, we're going into pre-workouts just because I enjoy them. I like them. I like caffeine. I like the ritual of them. And then more of that tier 2 health, omega-3 fish oils, maybe, again, probably better get your blood work done. Same thing with the NAC. And then just the sleep stack. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions about supplementation, or if you want to share any of the supplements that you have found valuable to you, please drop it down, comment below. Appreciate it. Thank you. Next video will come soon.